Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the Aston Martin DBX 707. It was once the fastest production SUV in the world till Ferrari's SUV came along with 18 more horsepower. Straight away, we are going to be opening the engine bay of this vehicle, which means there's a lever here and there you go. Obviously, you get gas struts. This is insulated. These are very much functional as well, and that is the engine which is obviously sourced from AMG. Says 4-liter twin turbo V8 right there, hand built in, great built in. Wait a second, this engine is from AMG, but anyways, you see, this is to make the car more rigid and stiff. A strut brace right there, and let's just shut this. But I can't seem to find where the headlight washer, the normal washer fluid goes. I am used to saying headlight washer whenever I see a car this expensive. Anyways, let's just shut this a bit with love, and there it shuts. Now thing is, they have made a lot of changes in terms of the design. Firstly, the grille is larger by 27% for 80% higher airflow, because the turbos need to breathe better and for better cooling. They have also added brake ducts here so that there's better cooling of the brakes, along with the fact that it creates a downforce there as well. And the LED DRL which was here has been shifted here. So the DRL has been redesigned. The front bumper has been redesigned. You can see gets this piano black finishing. You get front parking sensors. You get a front camera. Aston Martin logo is now finished in dark chrome as well. And like I was telling you, this is very much functional. Carbon fiber treatment, nice. Okay, lights look absolutely beautiful. The treatment on the inside is fantastic, and this is a car which actually happens to be the medical car in Formula 1. So again, that is amazing. Now you've got cameras there. One is for the rain sensing wipers, this one, and this is actually for the lane keep assist. It has got adaptive cruise control also, I believe. Coming to the side of the car, this is actually 5 meters in length, which is less than the Urus. It is 2 meters wide, which is less than the Urus, but the wheelbase is more than 3 meters, which is slightly more than the Urus, and it is also taller than the Lamborghini Urus. Wheels on this car happen to be 23 inches. The standard DBX 550, you can call it now because it has 550 horsepower, has 22-inch wheels. Now, the tire size happens to be 285, 35, 23s. Similar, I mean, the width is similar to the 22s, which are available on the regular DBX. However, the rear tire size is actually bigger. There you can see yellow colored brake calipers with Aston Martin written on them, and carbon ceramic discs for 20 mm here. In fact, these reduce the weight of the car by 40 kgs. You obviously get air suspension, adaptive dampers, you name it, it has it. And obviously carbon fiber treatment here on the mirror as well. There's a camera right there. I love the design of this car. It looks absolutely fantastic. You can increase the ride height by 45 mm. I think right now the ride height is at its lowest position, so it cannot go lower than the already low DBX 550. So they have not lowered the car at all, they just made it stiffer. And here you can see the side skirts have also been tweaked, and air does flow from here for aerodynamic efficiency, I believe. No, it does not, it is fake. Oh my god, I'm disappointed with this. But anyways, coming to the side, okay, you can see the door handles actually pop out, and light also works there. Sloping roof line, and this is a super SUV. Let's open the fuel lid. This is where you put really expensive fuel to go really fast. Coming to the rear, again, minor changes here and there. For starters, that ducktail spoiler is still there, which is quite nice. Okay, it's there in most Aston Martin cars. This spoiler is still there, but this gets the carbon fiber treatment, which is fantastic. There's no rear wiper or washer, but you can see how air flows from there. It's all about aerodynamics. In fact, you can see the indicator functioning there. Lights are similar to what we see in a lot of Aston Martin cars. Again, dark chrome finishing here on the Aston Martin logos. And what has changed? Gets a revised exhaust actually. So you've got dual exhaust here, dual exhaust there. So quad exhaust now. Earlier they were just 2 exhausts, one on each side. You get rear parking sensors. The reverse parking camera is here, it's hidden because the system comes from Mercedes. Rear fog light, and you get this splitter at the rear. You get the diffuser treatment as well. Let's look at the underbody. There it is. Okay, the wheels are massive at the rear. Rear wheel size happens to be 325, so 40 mm wider at the rear. Okay, you can see the carbon ceramic disc. Look at the size of the wheels, in freaking insane. Parking sensor here on the side too, and this seems to be functional. Yeah, it is. Now what we will do is we will open the boot of the vehicle. For that, you can just come behind and stand, it will automatically open, or press a button here and there it opens. Obviously it gets a power tailgate. Boot is around 630 liters, which is decent enough. You get this parcel shelf, which is also finished in leather. So there's so much leather in this car. And below this there's some storage space where actually the spare wheel used to be, but this being 23 inches just cannot fit in here. These are actually the buttons in case you want to decrease the ride height so that it's easier to, you know, put in luggage. So we are just going to raise the ride height a bit because already it was at its lowest position. There it's going up. So this is a feature which is there in most modern luxury or ultra luxury cars. And this thing opens. Okay, there's the fuse box. These are the buttons. If you want to recline the seat, I press this button. There the seat actually goes down and there's a light placement here. However, I can't seem to find a 12-volt charging socket right now. Anyways, I press this button and the boot closes. You can see the beautiful finishing. I think the warning triangle has been put here. Yeah, let me just try and open that. Having failed miserably to open it, I will just exit quietly. Light placement here on the top. These buttons are very similar to Mercedes cars. Mercedes is an investor in Aston Martin, of course. In fact, Volvo's parent company has recently invested in Aston Martin as well. And obviously, the paid driver's father, Lance Stroll's father, also has invested in Aston Martin. So a lot of investors, including from Saudi Arabia and whatnot. I'll just put this seat back. Seats have been revised here. Okay, nothing is written right here, but it's actually written in the front. Okay, and look at this. Okay, here, soft closed door. It pulls it inside very nicely and sweetly as well. Now let's get inside. Is this a practical SUV? Well, the thing is, they've actually changed the seats of the car. So these are sportier seats and they are fantastic. Obviously, they are a bit stiffer and not as comfortable as a regular DBX, but the seats are really very comfortable when you compare it normally without getting the regular DBX into the picture, because it's all about softness there, it's all about sportiness here. Lot of leather here on the door pads, sort of carbon fiber finishing there. Door pockets are decent size, not that big as such, and this is obviously frameless. But how much does the window go down? Oh my god, it goes all the way down. Fantastic. And I love the way the door handle has been done. You got AC vents here, okay, and obviously this is one piece seat, so there's no adjustable headrest because these are sporty seats, of course, and the seat belts do not get the height adjust function. Let's close this. There it shuts, and oh my god, all leather everywhere. There is like crazy leather in this car. It's full of leather. I've never seen so much leather in any car. This touch operated, which is nice. Good amount of legroom and knee room. Under thigh support is also decent, and here you can unlock the car, lock the car, and these are the controls for seat ventilation and seat heating for the rear seat. And then it's got a 3-zone climate control air conditioning system, so you can operate the air conditioning from here if you so wish. So I'm just trying to operate it. Yeah, let's just turn it off. How do we turn it off? Keep this button pressed. Maybe it turns off from the front, but anyways, there's this massive hump transmission tunnel. That's the reason 3 people are not really comfortable inside. And there are magazine holders here. Okay, now it obviously gets ISOFIX child seat mounts. There is a center armrest with twin cup holders and adjustable headrest. Aston Martin logo here on the headrest as well, and there is a good amount of headroom on offer. This thing does not open. It's a fixed roof. And look at the dashboard, it's become sportier now. So they have now used kind of all black inside. Earlier it was beige, and obviously you can option it to whatever you feel like. So yeah, it actually looks quite nice, the dashboard, with again a lot of leather right there. Let's get out. Before that, let me show you, there are 2 USB-A charging sockets, so regular USBs. Getting in and out is not that difficult. And then again, I'm going to use the soft close door function. There it pulls it in and shuts the door. Yeah, it's so silent, you don't even realize when this happens. So that is another amazing thing. Now, I have not shown you the key of the vehicle. So this is the key of the car. This is to lock the car, this is to unlock the car, and this is to open the boot of the vehicle. Let's open the door. You can see it gets a blind spot monitor on the outside rear view mirror. And let's open the window. You can see the thickness of the window is absolutely crazy thickness on the window. And then the dashboard design looks amazing. It becomes, I mean, it looks next level, of course. The front seats are very comfortable, like really very nice. See the bolstering and all, Aston Martin written right there, and the color scheme somehow just works. So the thing is, with the window down, it looks even more sportier. Yeah, it's a very attractive looking car. In fact, dare I say, it is one of the sexiest looking SUVs in the market right now. Why am I opening this? Do we have a sunblind? No, we do not have a sunblind at the rear. At this price, that would be a really nice addition. Yeah, sunblind should be there. Okay, manually or automatic. Actually, automatic would be preferred at this price point. Says Aston Martin DBX right there. You get a proper dead pedal. These are Mercedes switches. This is for the electric parking brake. This is for the headlight control, and these are for the fog lights and headlight leveler, rear fog light that is. Now let me just press 1 to put my seat into position. Wait a second. Do I have to keep it pressed? Yeah, I have to keep it pressed. There you see the steering is going inside, the seat is moving ahead, and yeah, that's how the seat adjustment actually happens. Okay, you've got this, I don't know, so that it doesn't make sound. Nice insulation sort of thingy. Let's shut the windows. These are the controls for the power windows, auto one touch up and down. Beautiful white stitching here, and these are the controls for the outside rear view mirror adjustment. Door pockets are decent size at the front, and here we go. The interesting part is you have to press this ulta. So if I press it like this, then the sun blind will actually shut. It's actually finished in Alcantara. Yeah, look at the finishing here. So they have like gone bonkers in terms of putting the best possible materials everywhere they can. And then I have to push it the other side. So thoda ulta pulta hai. But anyways, you can see the panoramic roof is massive. It unfortunately doesn't bring a lot of airy feel inside because it's sort of tinted and then doesn't open either. Now this again is finished in leather. Oh my god, look at that. You've got lights here on the mirror, and then you've got another visor, so you can open both of them to like block the sun, of course. Light here on the top. Air conditioning is on, so we're just going to shut it. Yeah, there it is. We have shut the air conditioning. Let's open the glove box. I press this button there, the glove box opens. Doesn't seem to have the cooling function, but again is lined beautifully on the inside. We've got this white stitching as well. Dark chrome for the buttons, of course. And the steering feels really nice to hold. You've got these paddles here, and then obviously it gets electric adjust. But you know what? This is from Mercedes-Benz. This is from Mercedes-Benz. And all the levers, there's none on the right side actually, Faisal. Including the screen is from Mercedes-Benz. Now this is the command system with the same controls as a Mercedes-Benz car. Only thing is it's 2 generations old. It doesn't get touchscreen, which is a bit of a bummer. This is obviously auto dimming, and like I showed you, this is so premium. It feels fantastic, really nice. There's the mic placement right there. There's a handle to hold on to for the driver as well, because you know the kind of speeds this car can do, you have to have that. Here you've got storage space with an SD card slot along with 2 USB charging sockets, regular one, and a 12-volt charging socket as well. This does slide ahead and behind, so you can hide the cup holders if you so wish. Twin cup holders, again, this is very much like a Mercedes car. Carbon fiber finishing, okay, and this is not the easiest to operate because we're so used to touchscreen now, which makes me go through the buttons. This is for hazard light, this is for stop start system, this is for parking sensors, and this is for the parking camera. I press this button, there the parking camera enables, and then I can browse through multiple views for the parking camera. Resolution is okay, it's not amazing, it's okay, I would say, decent enough. And this is to lower the car, this is for lane keep assist, this is for the active exhaust, and this is to turn on and off the screen. The button for traction control, and this is for the suspension. If you want to stiffen it up, you can press this button, shows you some warning here. This is for the audio system, this is to go into home, this is to go back, this is the rotary controller, you can move it around, and it has a new drive selector here, so you can decide which drive mode you want to be in. You press it inside, it gets into manual mode, which lets you have manual control of things. Unlock the car, lock the car, AC controls here, and like I was telling you, 3-zone climate control, air conditioning. The screen is okay, there's not much to play around with because it's old and dated, but it has an Aston Martin menu now, which means that obviously it's a bit revised with different type of graphics, and you get the usual bits which you used to get in older Mercedes cars as well. So not much to play with, but what we will do is we will actually get it into reverse, which means to press this button, and there it is, the camera actually pops out. Okay, the thing is that the gas selectors have been given here, and this is the engine start stop button, which actually blinks red at times. Okay, now coming to the steering wheel, these are the controls for the cruise control system. I think it has got adaptive cruise control, so this is what lets you decide the distance between the car ahead, and this is to pick up a call or decline a call. Here you've got multiple buttons as well, and these are for audio controls, and this is to actually browse through that screen, which is a Mercedes screen at the end of the day, because the menu seems so much similar. And the thing is, you can get to the right side and then you can browse through this as well. Again, very similar to what we have seen on Mercedes cars. Can I get to the left and do that? No, it doesn't come to the left side. Only on the right I can do that. Okay, now this is actually a 12.3 inch screen. This is obviously a 10.25 inch screen. We are going to change the drive mode. So you can see when I change the drive modes, it actually changes the color of the cluster. So yes, it's a full digital unit giving you a lot of information. Telltale lights are placed almost everywhere. You try to hunt for them, and that is that. Nice. Okay. Now the next thing is that you know, the stitching is beautiful. It's all about attention to detail, so much so that people come and stop and try to see. It says airbag here, and the interior is more or less the same as before. Only thing is now it's finished in black. You can get various colors. In fact, for the boot also you can get your own bags which are similar finishing as the interior and the boot, and that's also going to be very expensive. But it's all about personalization in this car. Let's do one thing. Let's listen to an audio right away, which means that let's play an audio here. Audio quality is fantastic. Let's turn off the car. As soon as I do that, oh my god, it's so silent. And there you can see it says Aston Martin right there. There's storage space below here, which I forgot to show you. Yeah, there is a storage space here, and that is the button to open the boot of the vehicle. This seems like a wireless charging pad to me, which brings me to that important thing about ambient lighting. So let's get into the vehicle and let's actually get into light settings. So ambient lighting, and how many ambient lighting does it have? It has 64 colors for the ambient lighting, which is kind of cool. Yeah, 64 colors. So exact Mercedes system. They need to add a touchscreen. I believe with the facelift they will do that. Look at the amount of telltale lights. It shows you which person has not worn a seatbelt also. So let's just shut this and let's just lock the car. Here I'm going to lock the car. There the mirror actually goes inside, and then it does this display there, and then screens are off. And let me actually try to open the windows using the button here. So there we go, locked it, keeping this button pressed, and all the 4 windows roll down, and they do that at a very fast pace as well. So let's do one thing. Let's start driving this Aston Martin DBX 707. All right, we're all set to go, which means first and foremost we are going to turn off the air conditioning of the car completely. Yeah, that is off. We get into engine data. Kind of cool. You've got seat heating, ventilation, all that is here. The buttons are here, so it's not very evident either. We're going to change the drive mode into Sport Plus, which means the car will kind of squat down. Let's get into manual mode later. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, selecting drive mode and hazard lights off, revving the motor, and race start not possible, and off we go. Unbelievable acceleration. This car is very, oh my god, you can hear the pops and cracks. The whole character of this car completely changes as soon as you get into Sport Plus mode, because in GT mode things are a bit laid back. It doesn't sound that loud in GT mode, but once you get into Sport Plus, it's absolutely insane. The pull from this engine is unbelievable. So what is actually powering this? Globally, we know, or everyone who likes Aston Martin knows that they only get the DBX with the V8 engine. However, in China, they actually have an i6 engine. It's a straight 6 motor, which comes from the Mercedes family, of course. But this is a V8. It's the same engine as before. However, a lot of changes have been done to this motor. It gets ball bearing turbos, software upgrade, a remap has happened. So power has increased by 155 horsepower all the way to 707 PS, which is around 697 horsepower. And this comes at 6000 RPM. Meanwhile, the torque has gone up by 200 Newton meters. This one produces 900 Newton meters of torque, which comes in at 2600 RPM and stays there till around 4500 RPM. The result is this car is like 1 second faster. Yeah, 1 full second faster than the regular DBX, which produces, like I told you, lesser power, 700 Newton meters of torque. So basically 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.3 seconds. And being an SUV, you don't have to worry over speed breakers like this. You can just go with so much comfort as well. You don't have to mash open the throttle to go faster, because it just picks up pace so fast, and the top speed is 310 kilometers per hour. So when Aston Martin actually launched this car, they called it the most powerful SUV in the world, which it was until recently when Ferrari came up with the Pur Sangue, their SUV with 725 horsepower. But still, this one has more torque at 900 Newton meters. The Ferrari's V12 engine, being naturally aspirated, doesn't have that much torque. Now, because they have increased the power and torque and put a bigger turbo, there's a bit of lag lower down. The turbos take some time to spool up, but the mid-range is absolutely stupendous. They made changes to the gearbox as well. So this is the same 9-speed torque converter unit, but now it's a wet clutch for better cooling and breathing, and the gear shifts are fast enough, and you have got manual control of things. There are 5 drive modes. We are right now in the most aggressive one. So there's terrain, which is for off-road. There's individual, you can configure a few things. There's GT Sport and Sport Plus, and every time you get onto the throttle, now the response, especially in the mid-range, is unbelievable. It really picks up pace very fast. You can shift to a higher gear if you wish, and it will still pick up pace. I think the gearbox could be slightly faster in terms of shifts, but no complaints there because it's still a very quick gearbox. Now it sounds nice, but somehow the sound has been subdued with the latest emission norms. So what is exactly happening is that Europe and the UK, the European Union part of things, they have actually put a restriction in terms of the decibels you can go in terms of the sound of the car, and India obviously follows the UK. It's been following the UK since 300 years, sometimes forcefully, sometimes not, and America actually doesn't have such a norm. Like, the levels are a little higher there. That's the reason the cars in America are much louder. It gets a new exhaust system. Weight is on the heavier side, 2,245 kgs, but you somehow don't feel that weight. Okay, it feels nimble, it feels agile, it feels really nice to drive, and you can hear a bit of the road noise because of the massive tires. 23 inches with a very high profile. So front is 420mm, rear is 390mm. So bigger brakes, better cooling, better breathing. A lot of work has actually gone to make the engine a better performing unit. Plus they've also made tweaks to the suspension, so it's stiffer by around 50 odd percent, and that's not all. The gear shifts are faster by around 35%. So it's just made it a real super sport SUV in that regard. Really pulls strongly. Ride is actually quite nice. Okay, for the kind of profile of tires it's running on, ride is very much bearable. You don't feel that, oh, it's so harsh and all that stuff. Yeah, you can feel it's on the stiffer side. That's a given. Obviously, a car with this kind of performance would be having that kind of, suspension setup. By the way, 53% weight at the front, 47 at the rear. That's how it works really well. The rear is very planted. You push it around the corner, the rear really holds on to it. The only thing is the front doesn't have that level of grip. Grip levels are good, but just when you're trying to fight the steering, trying to fight understeer, a bit of a problem there. But for the most part, it's unbelievably fast. This is a car you can drive off-road, although no one is ever going to do that. You can drive it in the city, you can drive it on the highway, you can take it to a racetrack. This car does it in a very fantastic and exclusive manner, unlike its chief competitor, the Lamborghini Urus, which is also a fantastic car, no denying that fact. But it's not as exclusive as this Aston Martin, which brings me to the price of this car. It starts at around 4.63 crores, somewhere around that, ex-showroom. This is on road 5.63 crores, and depending on the options you kit this car with, the price can go much higher as well. But you get absolute crazy exclusivity on one side, coupled with the fact that it's a car which ticks all the boxes. Yeah, obviously it's 4-wheel drive, and you know what, in Sport Plus mode it can actually channel 95% of the power to the rear wheels, 5 to the front, and then obviously it has got a LSD, limited slip differential, at the rear, which, okay, we're just going to turn around here. Blind spot monitor will tell me, no, it knows I'm not turning, so that, yeah, there it is blinking and telling me, so that's also nice. I kind of miss the pops and cracks and all. I think they can be a little bit more aggressive in this car. So I was telling you, it has a center diff which can decide how much power and torque it wants to channel to the front or rear. It can channel 100% power and torque to the rear wheels if needed. Electronic limited slip differential, which can decide how much power and torque it wants to channel between the rear wheels for optimum traction. And then it has also obviously got torque vectoring by braking and the usual bits which you would expect. A little bit careful over breakers and bumps because you don't want to damage those massively expensive rims, and braking performance is very strong. Obviously very fade-free brakes, and here hazard lights on. Oh, look at the aggressive downshifts, huh? So what we're going to do is we are actually going to come to park and we're going to turn off the car. Yeah, the buttons are a bit confusing. Now I'm going to turn on the car by holding the paddles, and there hopefully it gives me a more, there it's a little bit more aggressive, but there's a soft limiter around 3000 rpm. So let's quickly cycle again through the menus, and this time we are actually going to launch it into manual mode. There we are, manual is activated. Let's actually get into vehicle data, something different to see. Hazard lights off, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. Oh, drive mode also we need to select. Race start not possible, and off we go. Unbelievable acceleration. So let's come to the suspension of this car. So the suspension has been retuned. It obviously uses air suspension. It's a 3-chamber air suspension, and then obviously it's got adaptive dampers as well. It's also got a 48-volt mild hybrid system going on for the anti-roll bars, which is able to decide that how to counter the weight to reduce body roll. So the steering is sharper, it's quicker, the handling is stiffer, the ride is stiffer, the steering is quicker, and overall it's a much better experience driving this car. It just feels so aggressive somehow, and then it has its dual characteristics. When you put it into GT mode, now things are so much calmed down. You don't realize you're driving a car with 707 horsepower lying in front, because this is actually not really a front engine, it's a front mid engine for better weight distribution. So engine is somewhere below the dashboard, so they've kind of pushed it as much in as possible for optimum weight distribution. So that's also pretty nicely done. Now the thing is that registration cost is around rupees 50 lakhs, yeah, and insurance is rupees 18 lakhs, which is the norm with a car this expensive, of course. But you have to understand one thing: when you buy an Aston Martin, you are getting something which is very exclusive, and then you can vibe with James Bond as well. So that's again something which is very nice. Oh, it has got active brake assist. Oh my god, I can see that warning again. Mercedes system in this car. Now, like I was telling you earlier also, this is not the facelift of the DBX. It might come later, might be we get a touchscreen or something of that sort. It pulls so fast now, in no time it's like gone, and then the pops and cracks. In fact, this is a car, even if you put it in a higher gear. Okay, let's come to the highest gear possible, and yeah, there we are, 6th gear, 7th gear. So it's not very aggressive to shift to a higher gear when compared to other Mercedes models. Even a C63 AMG for that matter, or any other AMG, will come to 9th gear in a jiffy. Now I'm driving at 100 km per hour in 9th gear. RPM is like 1200-1300. It's so calm, it's so silent, it's so peaceful. Get into the throttle, the gear shift is instant, and the pull is so fast. Now before you know it, you're doing crazy speeds in this car. Insane. Absolutely insane. But I'm quite baffled by the ride quality. It's so good for a car this stiff. Yeah, the car is super stiff. Like the dampers are like 55% stiffer at the front, and you know, the adaptive dampers work really well in this car somehow. It manages to glide over this road, which usually is kind of not the smoothest. It looks smooth, but there are a lot of imperfections on it. Even on expansion joints, you hear a bit of the thud, but it still remains very composed, and high speed stability is obviously unbelievable. It has to be, because that's what you expect from a car which is so sporty. Give me a downshift. Yeah, we go. So here I'm going to select manual mode, and let's see how does it hold on to a gear till what RPM. There, slightly under 7,000 RPM. It will hold on to a gear. It will not upshift unless and until I decide to do so. And obviously the pedals are fantastic to operate. They feel so nice as well. Like, everything feels so driver centric in this car, which is unbelievable and very nice indeed. We're just going to come to a halt here. Brakes are very nice and sure-footed, like supreme stopping power. So we are still going to be in manual mode. Hazard lights off, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and off we go. I can't shift gears as fast as this car can, so there's no point being in manual mode, so we're going to come out of that. The thing is, this car rivals a lot of other cars because the super SUV segment is growing. There's the Porsche Cayenne GT, okay, Coupe Turbo GT, which is obviously as fast, if not faster, at least in terms of outright acceleration. Some bumps, so we just avoid that. You know what? The suspension is not floaty. It's not that, you know, magic carpet ride, but it's neither on the firm side. Like you can feel the firmness, but it's not very stiff also. So that balance is beautiful. And I keep talking about the ride quality because the whole USP of a DBX happens to be the fact that you can drive it wherever you feel like without having to worry. Now, ground clearance is obviously better when you're driving in GT mode, but I am driving in Sport and Sport Plus, and as soon as you get into Sport mode, the car will automatically reduce the ride height. So I was talking about the competitors. There's the Urus. Of course, it has to be, like, that is the car which sells the most in the segment, become quite common as well, because, you know, the base variant of the Urus was initially priced very attractively, and then obviously depending on what options you opt for, the price just keeps going up and up and up and up. Then there is the Cayenne. Then there happens to be the Bentley Bentayga Speed, yeah, with that massive engine as well. I don't have to get my heart in my mouth when I come across a speed breaker. That is the best thing about something like this. And then now when you're making a U-turn here, you see how effortless it is. So the steering has great amount of weight. The handling is unbelievable. It is so grippy. It's like point and shoot. It really goes through a corner with so much precision. And here, okay, turning radius is a bit, or maybe I did not take it rightly, but yeah, turning radius is a bit. And as soon as you cross, and here we go. Those exhausts, they fire like crazy. So guys, this is my vlog of the Aston Martin DBX 707. Fantastic car, really lovely. I love it, I like it, but it's expensive. But good things come at a price, of course, and you get the crazy exclusivity as well. Now before we end, we are going to hit a very bad patch of road, which means that I can still be in Sport Plus, but why not just put it into GT mode here. There we are into GT. With individual mode, you can actually make a lot of changes to the suspension, to the steering to the gearbox to the engine, of course, to just decide the parameter of stuff. And that's the reason it's showing me this display in the cluster. I've actually changed it to that because we have active brake assist, forward collision warning. So I think ADAS systems are finally here. The panels for the same actually happen to be in the below the front bumper, actually around between, actually on the lower side, which I noticed later. And this is a GT mode. Can you believe that? Even in GT mode, this car does not hold back. This is a car, no matter what the mode, no matter what the road, you can just drive it and have a ton of fun. That is the Aston Martin DBX for you. So guys, if you like this vlog, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye bye.